Something's gone down that I don't think I've seen the light of on YouTube. A video that Rachel Oates put up today, unlisted, linked from her Twitter account. I won't link the video here because she may decide to remove that tweet and remove the link, and then I wouldn't necessarily know about that and the link would still be there. If you go and search through her tweets, if she still wants that link to be available and for you to have the chance to see that video, then you can do so via her Twitter account. But in that video, she is deeply distressed and crying, genuinely crying, and has also self-harmed. She has cut herself, and there is blood oozing from her arm. Really, this involves, what has led her to this is the situation between her and Essence of Thought. And it's a really odious situation to begin with.
You do not, as a content creator with even an iota of power, tell somebody to commit suicide, especially when you're someone who advocates for people who have mental issues. If you want to take up a platform and argue for those who are marginalized and protect them and do what you can to defend them, I agree. I try to do the same thing with my platform, but you do not tell somebody in front of your own audience, because they're watching, it's Twitter, to kill themselves. Here's a tweet exchange from them from before to get a little more context if you need it. This is where Lizzie Lang pointed out that there was no need to talk to Rachel Oates like that, and of course Essence of Thought says they're tired of transphobic abuse from bigots like those two, and they deserve everything the trans community can throw at them. And given that a few exchanges lower, Essence of Thought told them to kill themselves, it can only be inferred that this is Essence of Thought saying that they deserve trans people telling them that they should kill themselves.
And she is discussing the fact that she has self-harmed in the past, which is, I think, a new revelation, if you like, online for her publicly, although it's not news to me. I can say now, she'd mentioned the fact that this is something that she's done and that the recent events had led her to this.
Once upon a time, many girlfriends ago, I had a girlfriend who got it into her head that she'd want to become a classical art restoration specialist. I think we got that right. Because, she wanted to be a painter, but she also wanted to have, a steady income by having some kind of expertise, degree, and profession that involved painting and the classical arts. And talked to a guy who really was an expert in the field. He was a very elderly gentleman, connected to my parents' business. My parents' business involved museums and art galleries. And I said to him, I got this girlfriend, and she's been thinking about going back to university to get the special credential to do this form of art restoration. But her concern is, her interest is in fine arts. She's never really been much for chemistry, And it seems like getting this credential, it involves a lot of very detailed study of chemistry, a lot of exams, making sure you've got what it takes in terms of chemistry. And this was his reply to me. Yes, well, you see, that is the job. It was a great answer. It was succinct. And I was at a stage in my life where I was mature enough to really get it. And I smiled at him, I kind of shook my head silently. And I said, yes, just so. Yeah, that's, as someone else, or maybe if it had been me, if 5 years younger than I was or something, a few years younger, it's really easy to ignore that kind of advice and come back to someone saying, oh, well, yeah, but she could do this or she could do that. You make some excuses or have some, right. What you've pointed out to me is that something my girlfriend is thinking of as extraneous or as an obstacle or as a footnote, it's none of those things. It's the essence of the thing. It's the most important element. It's precisely, doesn't matter how good your taste is in fine art. If you want to train for this job and do this job is all about chemistry. That's what it is. And I went home that night and I repeated verbatim the conversation I had with this elderly gentleman to my girlfriend. And I said, you see? She thought it over and she decided that that was not the line of work for her because she did not want to devote herself to a highly technical field that almost entirely consists of chemistry. If you want to be on YouTube, if you specifically want to do critique of controversial political and social issues on YouTube, if you specifically want to offer criticism of social values and mores, including religion above all else, this is the job. Criticizing and being criticized. The people who are playing this game, they chose the level of critique they wanted to engage in. And in this case, we're talking about a category of YouTube videos more or less described as atheist activism. That's how Jacqueline Glenn got started, right? Jacqueline Glenn was an atheist activist. And what did she become? She became the girl who breaks down weeping on camera because she broke up with her boyfriend. And there was one boyfriend and another boyfriend, another boyfriend. She became the girl who talks about her breast implants and her relationships and her experiences with psychedelic drugs, right? And all that began with a critique of religion, with critique of politics and social norms and mores. And then there was an intermediate step, right? Because the very nature of that critique that remains lowbrow is that, of course, she criticizes other YouTubers, and other YouTubers criticize her. Most notably in her case, she had this conflict with Anissian, went on for many years. Jacqueline Glenn did break down weeping. She was upset by, she was hurt by that conflict. It was a whole drama. Okay? So this is what the job is. This is what the job requires. And this is what the job becomes if you let it. On my channel, 3.5 million, maybe coming up now on 4 million views in total. The video that has the largest number of views of all time is me breaking down weeping in the midst of drama with another YouTuber. It is. Is that what I decided to do with my YouTube channel for the rest of my quote-unquote career here? Is that the direction I then took things in? I'm making a series of videos on Aristotle. And I am acutely aware that those videos will have dramatically fewer viewers, even within my regular viewing audience, let alone outside viewers. They will have dramatically fewer viewers than if I came on camera and talked about my sex life and talked about my problems with my girlfriend. The videos I'm going to do about Aristotle will have fewer viewers than if I just recorded myself lifting weights at the gym or talking about diet and exercise. They're going to have fewer views than almost anything I could propose or actually do. Why am I doing it? Why am I doing it? I'm doing it for the same reason why these seemingly vacuous people came on YouTube in the first place. I was there. I remember when Jacqueline Glenn first came on YouTube. I think I can remember when Rachel Oates first came on YouTube. You know what? A lot of you people started playing this game in the first place to engage in some kind of meaningful critique, whether it's critique of what you think is wrong with religion or politics or society. And I think you came on with the motivation to make the world a better place. And that's why I'm going to take the time to break down Aristotle's Politics and explain to you what it is I have to explain, even if only 500 people ever watch that YouTube video. I don't think the problem is human vulnerability. Rappers are vulnerable, but they know the art form they're engaging in involves boasting and insults and death threats and mockery constantly. I think rap artists, I think hip-hop artists, I think they know before they pick up the microphone or pick up the pen to write the lyrics, this is the job. You don't have to be handsome to be a rapper. You don't have to be handsome to be a YouTuber. You don't have to be beautiful to be a YouTuber. But one of the most essential attributes is precisely that you have to be that person who can engage in critique and counter criticism, can deal with that. You have to be someone who thrives on criticism instead of feeling driven to desperation by it. That's not an obstacle to doing this job. That is the job.